Hey guys, Phil Hope here and welcome back to another tutorial video. Today we're looking at the 6 key things you can be working on to improve muscle ups. So today we're going to be working a lot on the rings, but that doesn't just mean that these exercises are only good for ring muscle ups. A lot of this is going to have carryover to bar muscle ups as well, and just building strength in general. A lot of it's going to be strength based, thrown in with a little bit of skill work as well. So the first thing you're going to want to work on is just getting used to being comfortable on the rings. So you might not be there with your muscle ups yet, you might have 1 or 2, you might have loads, but you can always improve by increasing your strength and getting used to working on the rings. Things like ring dips, ring rows, ring pull-ups. If you've not got ring dips just yet, what you can do is scale the load by performing ring push-ups. So you can set the rings to a low height and then scale it by the load. So whichever angle that you need to be at, where you can perform 5, 10, 15 good reps of ring push-ups. That's just going to give you a bit of time to build up strength while building stability on the rings. Alternatively, if you don't have ring chin-ups just yet or ring pull-ups, what you can do is scale down to a ring row, and again scale that by the load like you would with the push-up, so the angle that your feet are going to be at out in front of you. Ideally working up into a horizontal ring row where your feet are going to be on a bench or on a box and you're horizontal, and you're performing, again, big sets of ring rows there, 5, 10, 15 reps. Some great accessory pieces you can be working on in the meantime if you don't have the strength for the ring dip. Support holds on the rings. That's going to be jumping on with the arms locked out and the wrists turned out, making sure that the elbows locked out and you're supporting your body weight at the top. Alternatively, if you can't perform a ring support hold just yet, you can scale it down like you would the push-up, get into the push-up position and hold the same position there. You can perform negatives, so from the support position at the top, you can control down through the movement, get into the bottom position. Once you get to the bottom, you don't have to press out, you can plant your feet or come down to your knees if you're in the push-up position, get back to the top, back into support position, control back down. And then when you're at the bottom, you can do bottom of dip holds or bottom of push-up holds on the rings as well. So just getting into that bottom position of the dip or the push-up, making sure you're not just supporting yourself on the rings, that you're actually holding your body weight, whether that's at the bottom of a dip or the bottom of a push-up, and just holding that position there. And any combination of those exercises. Another great variation of the ring row is the single arm ring row, and what we're aiming for in this position is to keep your hips squared off and make sure that you're not twisting or rotating at the pelvis, at the hips, at the shoulder, and you're just pulling with one arm, and that's going to make sure that you're evening out imbalances on either side for when you're doing your ring rows and your ring pulls, that you're not biasing one side too much. You might find at first that you struggle more on one side, so you might be stronger on one than you are the other, and this is going to help figure out those imbalances, so give single arm ring rows a good go. And that brings us on to number 2, the false grip. What the false grip is going to allow you to do is to smoothly transition into your muscle up. So if you're performing strict muscle ups on the bar or the rings, a false grip is going to help you to get into those positions. If you don't have a false grip, what you tend to find when you're performing strict reps is that your wrist just won't get over the ring and it'll be a big strain on your wrist. You're going to need a really, really large amount of strength to be able to do a muscle up without a false grip. So get a strong false grip, and that's going to improve. So things you can work on: you can perform false grip ring rows, false grip pull-ups on the rings, you can hang from the bar with a false grip, you can hold kettlebells in a false grip. I want you to work on false grip in absolutely everything. So false grip your steering wheel, false grip your shopping on the way back to the house, literally false grip everything. So how do you get into the false grip? The easiest and quickest way to think about it is hands through the rings, right on the middle. Get to about this part of your wrist here. You're just gonna chop on the ring. From there, you're gonna grip it. Same on the other one, grip the ring. That's your false grip. And that brings us on nicely to number 3, the strict ring transition. So now we know what the false grip is, you're gonna utilize that. You're gonna set the rings to about hip height. You're gonna come down to your knees and sit back onto your feet. You're gonna get your false grip on. From there, you're gonna go knuckles and elbows together. You're gonna pull the rings to your sternum as you push through the floor, through your feet. As you get to that position, you're gonna start to turn the rings out and keep the rings in close to your body. Now this position I like to call either peeking over the fence or the T-Rex position, because you look like you're peeking over the fence with little T-Rex arms. From there, you're going to transition into the bottom of the dip. As you transition through to the bottom of the dip, make sure you're keeping the elbows in nice and tight. You're going to press out to the support position using your legs to help you up. Once you're in that support position at the top, you're going to turn out and then just descend back the same way you came down, keeping the elbows in, get the shoulders to the rings. Then you're going to transition your elbows through, back into meerkat, T-Rex, peeking over the fence position. Bring the rings back around, knuckles, elbows, and control down and out. What we don't want to see in these positions is any momentum through using the head or using the hips. We're going to work on skill pieces later. It's that the positions are supposed to be performed strict and as tight as you can get them. And this is just going to have so much carryover to you building strength in those positions. If you're using momentum and just really going through the motions with the positions, you're never going to build strength there and you're never going to progress onto the muscle up. Moving on to number 4, the Russian dip. So what we see with the muscle up is that when people either get to here on the rings or here on the bar, that they lack the strength to pull themselves through or on to the top of the bar. So what the Russian dip does is train exclusively in that position. So what you're going to do, you might want to start off on a box. It's a really tough movement, and we can start by toe spotting with our feet on a box. So the support position at the top, you're going to toe spot with your feet on the box. You're going to control down through the dip. From there, you're going to rock your elbows with control back onto the box. Into that back position, you're going to be resting on your elbows. From there, you're going to rock back forwards into the bottom of the dip and then press out to the top. So really building on strength in that middle portion that people really struggle with on the muscle up, okay? From there, we can scale it up to the box. You can perform a negative down without the toe spot. See if you can do that. From there, we can scale it right up to working on the parallettes. So you're going to need a lot of strength and a lot of stability in this position to really get the most out of it. If you're getting to the bottom of that dip and you're just rocking back and you're just collapsing onto your elbows and not able to get back through into that dip position, you might need to scale it back to the box and the toe spot, but still give it a go. On the parallettes, it's going to be exactly the same thing. You're going to start from that top support position. You're going to control down through the dip. Once you get set at the bottom of the dip, you're going to rock back and really try and control that position so that you're not just collapsing back onto your elbows. You're going to try and control to your elbows. From there, getting nice and set. You're going to kick forward, land back in the bottom of that dip, and then press out. Really great strength builder for that lacking portion that a lot of people have. So use those scales, take your time with it and progress. Staying on that theme of strength in certain positions brings us nicely onto number 5, which is just improving the range that you can do a pull-up and a dip. So what we tend to see is that people don't have a high enough pull. So if your pull-ups look a little bit like this, then this could be the issue. If your dips look a little bit like this, that could also be the issue. So what we tend to see is this big deficiency in strength. So with our pull-ups, we only get to here, chin over, and in our dips, we're only getting to here. Look at the discrepancy we have for getting into the positions we need to be for the muscle up. There's this much discrepancy in the middle. So what we want to be working on is closing that gap, pulling to here, dipping to here, and now we're strong in these positions. Which brings us on to our last movement that we're going to work on, number 6, the ring swing and the hip pull to the rings. This is a big thing for a lot of people. We see that people can perform false grip, strict muscle ups, and then when they come to perform kipping ones, there's just something missing. There's just no skill tying in. So this is really a bit of skill work. Once you've built up all those prerequisites to the strength, if you can perform strict muscle ups, that you can now start working towards kipping with a ring swing and a pull to the hip. So the big issue that we see with the ring swing is not getting into those nice, tight, hollow and arch positions. The knees are broken, the legs are coming apart at the bottom, there's not much going on in the shoulders. What we need to see is that the feet are staying pinned together, we're pointing the toes away and we're trying to relax through the shoulders but keep super tight through that midline. And if you nail those positions, keeping your feet together, the toes pointed, keeping nice and tight through the midline, you'll notice that you just naturally create tension through the body, and you'll start just building momentum without thinking about it. Whereas if you're broken in the middle, there'll just be no tension, no momentum built, and you'll really struggle to get those hips to the rings. Squeeze your bum, squeeze your abs, keep nice and tight. Start building the swing slowly, building it up, building it up. Once you get a big swing, you're gonna push down into those rings, get that hollow position at the top, pull the hips to your rings, and then as you fall back down, maintain those positions as you come through back into that arch at the back. Keep super tight, keep those feet together. That's where we tend to see the feet coming apart at the back. That's when we lose tension in the middle. Feet together at the back, big swing back through, push into the rings, pull to the hips. So that's it, guys. 6 things you're gonna be working on to improve your muscle ups, whether it's ring or bar. Whichever you work on, it's gonna complement the other. The thing you'll realize in this video is that a lot of it was strength work and then finishing with a little bit of skill work. Strength is the foundation for good muscle ups. Once you've got the strength, we can start working on the skill and start really tidying up the muscle up. I hope that's helped. If that has helped, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe to the channel. There's going to be more videos like this coming soon, and we're going to delve into some of the positions of gymnastics even more. Thanks a lot, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.